What's up, guys? So there is one topic that I was actually supposed to make a video long time ago, and I have planned to make this video many times, and then I always forget about it. But today is finally the day that I make this very important video. Now, this is one video that I have no idea why, but basically there is one video from the entire raid community about this topic, and that is from Tairaku, so I want to give props to him. He's the only one that has made a video about Frostbite set 2 years ago, and he kind of got the gist of it, that it is actually pretty good set. But today I want to expand on this topic a bit more, because nobody really knows how good this set is, except few Platinum players, and most people just overlook this set and kind of waste the potential they have on their account. As many of you might know, Polymorph can both interrupt skills and damage. So let's say enemy Ramantu does his AoE buff strip. It will go not all of them at the same time, but one by one in the team order. And if Polymorph procs against any one of the effects, then it will interrupt the skill, and no champions after that will get any of the effects or even the damage. And the exact same thing works with Frostbite set. And I actually have a very funny story about this, because when Polymorph Blessing was released, nobody knew about this on the first reset, but I knew it instantly. And when the blessings were announced and we could see them, the first thing I did was ask a data miner in our clan and our clan leader that does this effect work exactly like Frostbite set, and they said yes. And as somebody that has been using Frostbite for years, I instantly knew that it would change the game in PvP. And that reset, I put Polymorph on the leader of my team, and I was actually able to get rank 3 first time in this game, and it was a very big achievement. I didn't get Avatar at that time, but it was still a huge deal to me. And my team won tons of fights in defense, because nobody knew about Polymorph back then, and they didn't know that it interrupts skills and the details. But as a long time Frostbite user, I knew exactly how it works, because Frostbite does the same thing. Let's say enemy does AoE skill, and your leader has Frostbite set. If the freeze procs, not only does it interrupt the skill, but the people after that don't take debuffs or damage. Or let's say even other way around, that somebody hits you with a multi-hit skill. Tranda does her A1 that hits you twice. If Frostbite procs on the first hit, then the second hit won't even happen. And this will of course make incredible difference in arena. Like, it adds incredible amount of RNG to your defense, and you're able to win fights that otherwise you should have no chance to in this game. And actually, I know this is a flex that some of you might have seen me do many times, but this is very important to this topic. And this was actually how I was originally able to compete in Platinum Arena, and how I got into the MAD in the first place. I can tell you that I didn't get into the MAD because I do good amount of CVC and I'm a friendly nice guy that everybody loves. No, I got in because I did better in Arena than other people who wanted to get into MAD. And how was it possible with these champions? This was my actual defense team for more than 6 months, and I finished many times in top 50 with this defense team. And what you can see here is that everybody in this team is in 2-piece Frostbite. I mean everybody. Even the Rotos. Like, Arbiter is not fast. My Arbiter isn't like 400 speed. This is like 200 speed tanky Arbiter in 2-piece Frostbite. This is also Rector in Swift Parry and Frostbite. Even Rotos is in Savage and Frostbite. And Vogot is also in Swift Parry and Frostbite. Everybody is in it. And what this does is that if enemy attacks me with a team that doesn't have immunity, and why would they attack me with immunity? Because I don't have any CC? Well, they might get cucked by the Frostbite set. And yeah, back in these days, I used to get tons of messages from people that they were surprised to my Frostbite and lost to it. And with this kind of defense, obviously, I'm not able to stay this high because nobody's attacking my defense. I get hit million times, like with this defense every time. But I also have very high win rate, like it varied a lot on reset and to reset, depending on RNG. But sometimes I even had like 60 to 70% win rate, and I get hit maybe like 30 times every reset, depending how long I pushed. But at this point, because I knew that my defense wasn't very good, I was on purpose doing very like short amount of time to push, maybe like 7 to 15 minutes at tops. So if we take a closer look at Frostbite, it's a 2-piece set that you get from Doom Tower, and it has 15% chance to block freeze debuffs. This part is completely irrelevant, you can ignore it, but it has 10% chance to place freeze debuff on attacker. And like I said, what you do with this is you basically put 2-piece Frostbite on some champions if you can. Now, you can't bear this in 6-piece Stone Skin, and maybe on some champions you want them fast, you don't want to use this, or maybe you're using a bolster set and you want to pair that with Immortal to get the biggest amount of shield as possible. That's why this set isn't as popular nowadays as it used to be. Well, this set has never been popular at all, even though it should have been. But even I don't use this as much as I used to. Like I said, everybody in my team used to be in this set. Nowadays, sometimes I use it, oftentimes nobody in my reset defense is in this, but it is completely viable. Now, another good thing about this set is that you get it from Doom Tower, so you get passively of it over time, and there isn't really other important sets on this rotation. And you can use this in all kinds of champions, like you can even use it on nukers. Of course, Cruel is gonna be a lot more damage, but basically all types of builds you can use this on. You can use it on fast champions, you can use it on tanky champions, even nukers. Everything goes. And let me show you some examples on my account. Like, for instance, I have a Cardiel. Where is it? For instance, I have this Cardiel that is in very fast Swiftberry build, but it also does have 2-piece Frostbite. And obviously I have a lot of Frostbite, hardly anybody else in this game does. I have been farming it every rotation since start, so I have pretty good gear from it. But even if you start doing it now, it's still totally worth it. But here you can see that I'm utilizing my really fast pieces on Frostbite. And you might wonder that why am I wasting 6-star clips on like these kind of pieces? Well, back in the days, these used to be on my main defense champions. At one point I used Cardiel, and at one point I used these pieces on Arbiter, so these two pieces have seen a lot of use. Now, another example that I have built that I'm using right now is Arix, who I have been kind of trying to use in live arena. And he's an HP scaling nuker. He isn't a support, he isn't a fast champion. This is a completely different build. And even on him, I happen to got 2 pieces that fit my lethal set. And obviously I have like good ascension, so this is pretty much like even better than Cruel, unless it also has good ascension. So I have a great match here. And of course, maybe the most basic thing you would use it on is something like tanks, like maybe you use pieces that don't have any speed and you use Frostbite on them. I think I even... do I still have her geared? Yeah, I even have my Rector in Frostbite. Now, she used to be one of my main arena defense champions. I can guarantee you that there is no other Rector in this game that is as experienced in arena as this Rector. This Rector has finished plat several dozens of times, and you might find this a weird flex, but I have to say it because she carried me through hard times when I didn't have good champions, and this was the best reviver that my account could do, and I was able to get a lot of use out of her. But anyway, that was just to give you an idea that the set is very farmable and accessible, and you can basically use it on anything for PvP, so definitely start using it right now. But if we actually look at the Doom Tower rotations, so on the first rotation you have Magma Dragon, Scarab King, Nether Spider and Frostbite. Basically none of these others are like relevant, like Nether Spider is never farmed, Scarab King that gives immunity, it's viable option, though Stone Skin basically does the same thing except better, unless you want immunity against bombs, which is very niche. Scarab King definitely is an option, but nowadays hardly anybody farms it. Now Magma Dragon is kind of the same deal, it gives you 15% attack and 5 crit rate. It is nowhere close as good as Cruel Set is, because ignoring enemy defense is way better, but you could farm this set, and you could use it on something like Lord Shazar, because he is a bomb scaling nuker who doesn't benefit from ignore defense, but he actually does need crit rate for his kit. And maybe we have other bomb champions in future that also need it, who knows, but I would say that on the first rotation, just farm Frostbite. It is the best option, it is the most versatile, maybe you will not use it always, but it is always usable, and even if it isn't in your main team, you can basically put 2-piece Frostbite set on any arena champion in this game, and you can use it in tag team arena, live arena, everything. So a lot of the other sets, you're only looking for specific types of pieces, like let's say on Savage you're only using nuker pieces, or in Bolster you're only looking for HP pieces, but in Frostbite everything is good. And on the second rotation there is no Frostbite, so the options are between Eternal Dragon, Nether Spider, Griffin and Magma Dragon. Now basically all of these are not good, but it will come down to between Magma Dragon and Celestial Griffin. Like, you could farm Magma Dragon for like bomb champions, like I mentioned, or you could farm Griffin for maybe like Hydra, or possibly in arena as well, but something like Defiant or Guardian or Stone Skin is definitely better in the current meta. Though back in the day people would build champions like Necret in like Guardian set, but either one of these two is fine. Now in the third rotation, the simple answer is that the Dark Fae is the best. Now, Pomal does give you the resistance set, but I will make another video about resistance later. It has some very big drawbacks, and accuracy has very big advantage over it. But even if you do make a resistance build in top platinum arena, they are always in Stone Skin actually, because you lose so much tankiness if you do a build in resistance set. You definitely want to use it on, you definitely do want to do it on Stone Skin. Now you could consider doing like 4-piece Stone Skin and 2-piece resistance set, or sometimes you could even go 6-piece resistance, but this is very niche. Hardly you will use it in PvP, but maybe it will be very good for you in like Hydra if you don't have incredible perception gear with also resistance. But definitely the Dark Fae is the best one. Like, as you know, Lethal is the best nuker set. Everybody needs Lethal and a Savage, and you could farm both of them. You don't have to just farm like Lethal, you can farm both of them. But me personally, I don't spend money on energy, and I'm just farming Lethal. Like, at this point, because I've been farming it since start, my Lethal set is so much better that there is no point for me to even start farming like Savage at this point. And yeah, that's it for today's video. Like, when I did my Gala guide originally, I used to get a lot of complaints from my clanmates and other platinum players that now they're seeing a lot of Gala and it's all because of me. And I do sincerely think that Frostbite is incredibly good set and underrated. And I hope that you guys start using it and farming it, and I get a lot of complaints about this video. See you next time.